Thank you, Mr. Chair. I predict that the coming year will be a record year for electricity generators owned by the state, a record year. And I say that, Mr. Speaker, because I believe that the government-owned electricity generators, Mighty River Power, plus also Genesis and Meridian, will make more money than they've ever made before. And, sir, in 2 days' time, we have the emissions trading scheme. And that is going to contribute substantial extra profits to the government-owned generators, windfall profits, not just to the government-owned generators, but to the privately owned Contact Energy and Trustpower. And why is that, sir? Well, in essence, what the emissions trading scheme does makes electricity produced by burning coal or gas more expensive. So Genesis, with its Huntly Power Station, will have to pay emissions or pay for the cost of the emissions given off from burning coal and gas in the production of electricity. And the way the electricity market works, sir, is that the wholesale price is established on approximately 80% of the time by Genesis. Genesis is usually the most expensive generator, and when it's called on to produce electricity for the New Zealand market, it sets the price. And, sir, from the 1st of July, Genesis will be able to increase the price of electricity, quite reasonably increase the price of electricity, and we've already seen electricity companies move to take advantage of that. And, sir, the first of those was Mercury Energy, and how interesting to hear Louise Upston speak.
Look, the subject under debate, we're debating the estimates on Mighty River Power. So if the member's bringing out the material, he must relate it to Mighty River Power. John Boscawen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm certainly bringing things relevant to Mighty River Power, because what the emissions trading scheme is going to do, Mr. Chair, is it's going to enable Mighty River Power to increase the price of its electricity and make super profits, sir. And you have to look no further than the letter sent to Mercury Energy to its customers at the end of May. And Mercury Energy, sir, is a 100% owned subsidiary of Mighty River Power. And what does that letter say? Well, it starts off by saying the government's emissions trading scheme will take effect from 1 July 2010. The ETS is a government-imposed cost on all electricity and gas production that emits greenhouse gases. It will result in increased wholesale electricity and gas prices, reflecting the volume of greenhouse gases produced by the electricity industry as a whole. And, Mr. Chair, what I say is the critical words in this letter, the critical words to all New Zealanders are the words, the electricity industry as a whole. Because we heard very proudly from Louise Upston less than 10 minutes ago that 90% of what Mighty River Power produce comes from renewable sources. 90%. It comes from the Waikato River. It comes from geothermal stations. And what will Mighty River Power pay for the emissions given off by electricity produced from the Waikato River and those geothermal stations, Mr. Chair? Absolutely zero. Nothing. And what the emissions trading scheme does, Mr. Chair, is it enables Mighty River Power to justify an increase of 3.3% when it incurs minimal extra cost. And you ask me, sir, how does that relate to Mighty River Power? Well, sir, it enables Mighty River Power to charge more for its electricity and make super profits, make extra profits, sir. And as I say, I believe the electricity generators owned by the state will make more money in the coming 12 months than they've ever made before. And who's going to pay for that, sir? The people of New Zealand are going to pay for that. And how do I know that, sir? Because the Prime Minister of New Zealand has said so himself. In this morning's New Zealand Herald, PM admits public face hefty EST bill. The PM admits the public face hefty EST bill. And he's acknowledging here, sir, that the people who purchase electricity from Mercury Energy, 100% owned by Mighty River Power, 100% owned by the taxpayers, will be paying more for the electricity. Sir, the government have tried to argue that the increase in electricity prices that was forecasted by Treasury of 5%, Mercury's actually increasing their prices by less. Well, sir, we ain't seen nothing yet, because what will drive those increases will be Genesis and Contact Energy, and particularly Genesis, because they burn coal and gas. And Genesis, sir, is sitting on a million tonne stockpile of coal in Huntly right now, sitting there in reserve. It won't have to pay emissions on, and once that coal is burnt up... Thank you, Mr Chair.